Welcome back, everyone. For a while now, we have been focusing on this side of the layout. In today's video, we're going to jump back over to this side and see how much work we can get done over here. All right, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. We're going to be building a retaining wall that goes right along here and a road that goes up at an angle right in front of these buildings. Now eventually there will be a sidewalk that goes in front of those buildings, and then each foundation has to be built to go on that slant. Then we have a road that wraps around right here, and we have a tunnel portal that gets put in right here. Now to get back in there, the first thing we need to do is remove this bridge, and there's simply 4 rail joiners that we have to slide back, and then we'll just lift the bridge out of there. Okay, I'd kind of forgotten about this structure sitting back here. This was an old kit bash that I did. Now, we need to remove that because if you can see up here, hopefully you can, there's a double track. One curves and circles around, and then there's a bridge that comes right through here, and then it goes into that other track right here. So I need a bridge support right here and one over there, and there'll be other bridge supports on the curve, but let's move this and find a new home for it. Okay, here it is in its new home. It's so fun moving buildings around like that, because I would have never built that to go in that location, but it just works. And this whole area here is sort of a tourist attraction. It's like they took old buildings and turned them into gift shops, bars, restaurants. Okay, now we can get back in here and we'll remove these buildings and start to build this up with styrofoam. I'm going to use white styrofoam because it's very inexpensive, and then we'll cut really thin pieces to cover the front side of it. And we have to make sure our road ties in to this road back here, and then it goes uphill, and it has to go in right here because it goes straight back, and there's a T intersection back there. So the road crosses the tracks and then starts to gradually go uphill to right there. Okay, I've shown this in the past, but for anyone who's new to the channel, there is a road. Actually, all of my roads connect on the layout. But you'll see there's a road that comes through here, crosses over the tracks, comes down, and you'll see that there are sidewalks next to the road. So it crosses the tracks. The sidewalk actually goes through there underneath. Sidewalk comes out. You go down the stairs, up the stairs, and over to the sidewalk here. And that piece of paper is the thickness of the road. And that road continues through here. So here you turn and you start to go uphill. And you'll see I've got string. It goes uphill at that angle right there. So that line, that string tells me the angle to cut my pieces at. And we have to do a tunnel portal through here. Now the front of the tunnel will come off so that I can actually reach back in there, and then the other half, that will be a shelf that's removable, so I can reach the entire track. Okay, as you can see, I've got my white styrofoam cut, and that is the thickness of a road and a sidewalk on both sides. Hopefully you can see my pencil drawing here. So you've got a sidewalk on both sides and then a 2-lane road. Now the tunnel portal is really large right now. I'll make a smaller one, and I may put 2 magnets on this side and 2 magnets on this side, and it just sticks to it. Something like that, where I can remove that so that I can reach back in there and grab something if something gets stuck. Now this all gets filled in. There'll be a shelf that gets glued in there over the top of the track. And then we have to build our foundations up for each building that goes up the hill. But I don't want to get ahead of myself, so we'll get this glued in place, and then I'm going to cut really thin pink styrofoam and glue it on here for the road. Now if you wanted to, instead of doing the thin pink styrofoam on there, you could smear on the asphalt and just fill that all in and smooth it out. But I think it's actually going to be a lot faster just to cut some thin pink styrofoam and glue it on with liquid nails. Okay, I just wanted to give you an idea of what this is going to look like. We'll put a step right in front of the door. So then if you can imagine, the next building will be the same and all the way up the hill. I did want to point out that these had holes. This was the longest piece that I had, so I wanted to use it. I didn't want it to go to waste, but I don't like having those big drains, and I may cover them with screens. They're pretty far back in there, so I don't know if you're really going to be able to see them all that much. Okay, before I do anything else, I'm going to take my shop vac and clean this mess up. Okay, I quick used my shop vac and got everything cleaned up. I did make that opening a little bit wider. And I'm thinking that after I get the road in, I may use something like that all along here to divide the road from the rails. I am just thrilled how this looks sitting there. And I really want to start doing small projects in the evening. For example, all of these pilings need barnacles and rope tied around them. And that's a simple evening project. And then I need to make a support for this. It doesn't go all the way up. It goes more like that. But I just have to build supports under it. And then we need to get this raised up on a pier. Okay, we're going to stop here for today because there's some things that need to be done before I go any further. The first thing would be to ballast the track. I don't think I'll ballast the entire curve, but I'll probably end it right where the stone wall ends, and then maybe in 2 feet pick it up again. But yeah, this entire area needs to be ballasted first. Then I need to paint and weather the stone wall and get those little screens put on those holes. Then we can start to build up this area and work more in here. But it's just a little bit of progress that gets you closer to getting sections and white styrofoam completely covered up. Like I just mentioned, if you do a little bit each day on your layout, it doesn't have to be a big project. It doesn't have to be a project where you complete the entire project. Just do a little bit here and there, and it adds up. At the end of the week or the end of the month, you've accomplished a lot. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. And a huge thank you, like always, to all of my Patreon members. All right, well, till next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.